This is the breakdown for that case tournament I got the chance to play in this weekend. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. Now, this is honestly Ryzeal purgatory out here, as we had 4 Ryzeal variations in this top 8. One of them was actually a shark variant. Now, I've seen a couple people kind of talking about the shark variant kind of coming to light, and I actually think that's kind of cool to see that we actually have some of the ideas kind of fluctuating around with that. So I'm kind of excited to see where that goes. Of course, we also had one Maliss list. Now, you might have already seen this Maliss list on this channel. If you have, you can check out the way longer in-depth discussion that we had with my friend's Maliss list out here. But I gotta tell you, that deck actually is pretty cool to see what it can actually do. Now, we also had a Centurion build standing at the apex out here, just kind of challenging some of the meta, actually trying to be this very, very strong deck. And, you know, Centurion having access to the Bysteal package kind of feels a little bit ridiculous at the end of the day. I didn't realize how strong Bysteals actually were, but holy crap, those little guys actually burn the Ryzeal deck very, very badly. And of course, the former meta is actually still here. We had a pure Snake Eyes deck entering on into the top cut, which I'm not all that surprised to see out here. But we also had a Fire King variant rising up from the ashes out here, being this other strong competitor doing its thing. Now, overall, your breakdown, very, very Ryzeal driven. And I'm not surprised to see as much Ryzeal as you're about to see. This is going to be the next couple of months of Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, and it's kind of unfortunate, but, you know, you're going to have some cute little innovations out here, and you're going to have some not so fun innovations out here, but that's what we're expecting out here. But hey, at least Maliss got the chance to shine and, you know, not totally be a flop. So let's pass on over to those deck list. Alright, so starting things off here, we have our first place Ryzeal list. This was the list that actually beat me in Swiss, and then my friend actually ended up beating this. But because of KTS, we actually ended up losing out to it. You do see some Metaltronus in here actually getting some love. Of course, thrust into the Dimensional Barrier was really, really cool to actually see. And of course, main decking the Droll and Lockbirds and Nibiru's. We're kind of at a point right now that Nib is kind of looking like a much better card. And of course, seeing Laplace down here is actually really, really cool to see for your tech choices. Next up is the list that I actually ended up playing. I ended up playing one copy of Sakitama in this because I thought Sakitama was really, really cute. Getting that chance to get that additional normal summon did kind of feel very, very nice to me. Of course, I did play the Reflasia as well. I think Reflasia was one of the cuter options to have out here. Just being able to drop down the Plasma Hole, you might be in a little bit more of a winning position if you're making this play, but you know what? It was kind of fun to do. We also have the Power of Maliss out here. We have the way more in-depth profile on this and my Ryzeal list on the channel. So that's something for you to look at. Yes, ratio is going to look a little bit weird. I mean, we're doing 2 Allure, 2 Crossout Designator in here, but that's fine, all right? You have all of these ideas and all this advantage you're trying to do. You're also going to see triple Chessy Cat in here, but the reason for this was they just wanted to have the option to try to see these monsters because we're playing Allura Darkness, you know. And I don't necessarily hate this. You're just trying to draw into all your hand traps and go. Next up here, we have more Ryzeal. This build was actually playing a Shark package in here. Now, the fact that, you know, you're using this Big Jaws package in here to get the free Exceed, you know, you also have the Drake Shark. And this, I mean, you're not really making too crazy of an investment in this. I also see that we had the Forbidden Chalice in here as well. So, just all of these little ideas kind of coming together. I think Chalice just being an auto negate on Dreadnator is very interesting if you're expecting to play a lot of Ryzeal. Alright, next up here we have more of the good stuff. This build actually choosing to play double tack Talons, which I think is fine. You do get the chance to see the Starleash Photon Dragon down here, and the only reason why I chose not to play this was I looked at the stats and I'm like, this card does not check any boxes to what I necessarily want to be trying to do. Alright, like, it is a strong card, but man oh man, is this card not feel good. Alright, but hey, you know what? The targeting protection is kind of cool. Alright, next up here is our Centurion list. And you know what? There's that full Bysteal package I was talking about being very, very strong out here. Basically, you're able to roll through your opponent. Stealing your Meteor Logics from your opponent is really, really good. I also see that they're playing one copy of Sanctum out here, pulling out the Lancias so that you can actually punish Maliss. And unfortunately, there was not a major Maliss participation for this event, so, you know, we didn't really get to see full value kind of swing through this, but I think that is something to kind of take note of here. Next up here, we have more your Snake Eyes variation. Man, it's kind of weird to see out here that Snake Eyes has just rolled on back here and is not doing all that good. Still doing the triple deception as you need. You do see we have the triple impulse in here. And of course, this build doing 2 copies of the triple tactics talents. No real surprise there. And of course, good old Fucho. I mean, hey, putting the little guy on the field is fine, but as long as you can get the game back to your turn, you should be fine. Our last top 8 match here, or list here, is actually some Fire King action in here for you. You do see that we are playing the impulses in here, just so you can kind of get that strong negation sense set up so you can punish your opponent. Yeah, for if you can actually get this to resolve. Unfortunately, I mean, this deck made it to 8th place. It really was not getting the chance to go too much further. And overall, I mean, your top 8 as a whole actually didn't feel great looking at these lists. Like, very Ryzeal Purgatory. Now, we're going to drop on down here. We have 9th through 16. We actually have a Kashtira Ryzeal list for you here. Now, this is kind of a cute idea. We're using these Kashtira cards kind of set up and extend all the way through. And, of course, hey, nice Elder Entity instant here, so you can actually have the Ultimate Slayer. So you can kind of get away with some things. Also, this list playing 42 cards. I think this is one of the more unique variations of the deck that I've had the chance to see so far. You know, I actually, this was the list I played against. Shifter in this deck was kind of cute. All right, next up here we have Fiend, Smith, Snake Eyes. Yeah, nothing really changed all that much here. You do see that we are playing the 2 copies of Deception, so, you know, you can get all your free value. You have the Book of Eclipses in here to kind of stop your opponent. Trust me, when I say this, this card was actually pretty ignorant. Just stopping your opponent feels really, really good. Outside of that, I mean, this is standard. Like, you have to understand when you're looking at these lists now, there's not a lot of creativity really left in the tank. All right, next up, more Centurion for you. Okay, there was a lot of Centurion in this event, genuinely. Like, the deck still can do a lot of stupid things. You do see down here we have the deck locked down. We are also playing the Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend for time. You know, being able to steal the game away from your opponent. And, I mean, honestly, this deck shouldn't be taking as long of turns as you might potentially be thinking it is. But, you know, I'll take my free game wins where I can get them. It definitely feels good. All right, next up here, we have the Wretched Ghost in the Attic, the deck. Yes, we had one Memento challenger in the room actually playing the Diablaze combo in here, which is really, really cool. You do see that we are playing the Cranium Burst, which I, honestly... Cranium Burst is probably better for a larger competitive event like this. You also do have the Fracture Dance in here to kind of slow roll your opponent. And, of course, you know, being able to make the Nightmare Griffin, to do the Diablaze combo is kind of ingenious. I like the idea that that was something that was innovated fairly recently. All right, we've also got, okay, I see that we are doing a full extended out Horus package in here. This build actually, Horus the Black Flame Dragon Deity. The fact that somebody actually chose to play this, I think is freaking hilarious. Like, I gotta give them some credit here. Like, you're doing, like, full goblin plays, but, like, this is just hilarious. I mean, you've already got the dedicated field spells in here, so maybe there is something to that idea. That's kind of cool. Oh, we have a Tenpai representative out here. Wow. Somebody actually used triple Dark Hole, triple Raigeki, triple Droplet, and double Lightning Storm. This is what you've been forced to come up with in order to play the game? That's actually insane. I also do see that we had Gravity Collapse down here as well. I'm not hating on the idea of this. This definitely is kind of interesting to see, but Tenpai very much falling off at this point. Like, that's actually insane to see. Ooh, we have another Tenpai player back here. So this is where all of our Tenpai players went. You know, people have looked at Tenpai for so long and they're like, oh, this deck is super easy to play. No, you're in Ryzeal Purgatory right now. You are not going to have a good time taking this deck in and trying to play it. Like, you're going to have to rely on things like Super Poly to try to clear up those boards. And even in that case, it's not going to necessarily work out for you. Like, there's just a lot of bad situations that you're just going to get caught off guard. So, this deck not doing so good. And our last list out here was a Fire King list. Sporting off the barrier statue of the fire, baby. I love this. You can go down to full combo and then commit a barrier statue to this and just laugh your ass off. Like, the fact that we have a fire barrier statue present here is beautiful. I love this. So that is your breakdown for this event. I am so happy to see this. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.